you've been waiting with bated breath to see another chainsaw video. There's just not enough of them on YouTube. So, well, here's what happened. Somebody was cutting a tree and somebody else was moving logs, and the log mover guy ran into the tree while this saw was stuck in it, and that's what happened. So he brought me the saw and hopefully a replacement piece that will work. I'm not sure I don't see the word Stihl on it anywhere, but it looks pretty close. So those do look like Stihl fuel lines, so I think we might be all right here. Let's see if we can do this. Woo, that air filter's dirty. It's gonna have to come off. Carburetor's gonna have to come out. I've actually never done this that I can remember on a Stihl chainsaw, so it's going to be an adventure for both of us, or all of us. Come on out of there, baby. Oh, that thing is corroded. Woo-wee, woo-wee, woo-wee. And that carburetor's not pretty corroded too, isn't it? Man, we're gonna have to do some cleaning here. Got a clean microfiber. That's just what I need for this. Something that'll pick that dirt up off of there instead of spreading it around. Get as much off this thing up here as I can so it don't get down in there. Okay, next, let's take this off and get a better view. I don't think that fits. That is a really strange looking screw, but it seems to be the screw that holds it on. It will take a flathead screwdriver. I mean, there's nothing else holding it on but that screw, so that has to be one you need to get out, I would think, to remove it. Yep, it surely is. This baby off here, it's not too bad. So this intake manifold goes up in through this. I'm just wondering if the best thing to do is take the carburetor out, put the carburetor in here and put it back together, or not. And it's probably 6 of one and a half a dozen of the other. So the first thing I'm going to try to do and just go ahead and get this off, carburetor and all, I think. See if I can pop that little kill switch wire there. Yep, it's cooperating. Once again, go online to Harbor Freight and order a set of these if you're going to try to do this stuff. It'll make your life easier, I promise. We got a screw right here that needs to come out. We got a screw right here that needs to come out. We got a wire right down here that we're gonna have to pull all the way out of this thing. So I think I'm gonna stick with the wires for a second. See if I can get that baby to start out. Yeah! This is going well right now. Ha! So the wires are loose. They should pull right up through this little grommet here. One's longer than the other, and that's good. That'll make them pull one at a time, hopefully. So get my green and yellow one out of there first, if I can. I'm gonna pull on it too hard because I sure don't want to pull the end off of it. you out of the way for a second. Move you over just a little bit. Try to straighten you up. There we go. Onesie, twosie. So that's loose. Basically all I'm doing is I'm gonna go clockwise around the saw and take stuff apart. Let's see, what's this? I think that's just holding the plug wire in place, and it does not mount to this, so I don't think that has to come off. This definitely does. Grab a magnet bowl and start piling up screws. That's got to come off. That looks like it, well, this looks like it attaches to that too, so I guess it will have to come off. Lands of Goshen's. Yeah, that's kind of loose now. Let's see if we can get her out of here. Yep. It's going famously well. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is get the blade off and the handle off of it. So it's screwed into this handle on the bottom. And I learned on the Husqvarna video, don't try to do this with the blade on it. So I'm going to take it off. I'm pretty sure that's a 19 millimeter on Stihl chainsaws. Let's see. El Correcto. 19 millimeter. Wow. Goodness gracious. Man, you have to have grandma's cooking to get that thing loose. Good night. Why? Boy, that's tight. I don't see the reason for that having to be that tight, but maybe somebody knows more about it than I do. I fix them a lot more these days than I cut with them, so. But I used to have a tree cutting service, so pretty familiar with them and how to take care of them. So we get these two off, put them in the bowl. Get this off. It's not so dirty in there, but okay, you're on your tensioner right here. It's on the saw instead of in the cover. So I'm gonna kind of pull that off of there. And usually with a Stihl, you can pop that off, pull that back and get it out of your gear and take the whole thing off. It's got a pretty good edge on those teeth. I don't think it really, what's up, find anything that's beat up. Looks like you just cut wood with it. Some people cut grass and rocks, and then you got 2 or 3 teeth that are dull, and that just messes the whole thing up. So you gotta sharpen the chain. Okay, we got this off. So let's go for Mr. Handle next. What do you say? Put these two out on the bottom. Right here and right there. should have one or two more over here on this side. Yep, we got two. This one off. Oh, it's loose. It's a loose. It wasn't even in there like it's supposed to be. Oh no! Y'all remember Mr. Bill? Yeah. According to the average, well, it's bent. So I don't know if I have a big enough tool to bend it back here or not, but I'm gonna find out real quick. A little bit. It's not enough. Go down a little bit. Yeah, baby. There we go. Okay, so that's supposedly loose. Get this one out of here. I think it's connected in there too. Woo! A lot of screws to keep up with now. Different screws for different things. Okay, something's connected here. I bet you we got a bolt under this little plastic thing. Yeah. Just when you think you're gonna break a steel part, it comes loose, seems like. Yep, got another screw right there. I think that's gonna make a big difference in how loose this thing is. Yep. It gave substantially when I did that. So, might be the only thing we have to do now is get this manifold off of here. And it's got a hose clamp right there. If there's anything else. Yeah. Screw for that hose clamp in the perfect position to take it loose. It's so nice to work on stuff that people actually think before they put it together. Okay, this comes loose from that when I pop that off. This had a screw going in the top of it, but it's also going right into here in a nefarious way. So I think I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna call it an oiler cover off so I can see what's under the rest of that. There's another little screw that goes somewhere. Ooh, it's gonna be fun to figure these out, isn't it? Well, let's just lay you right there, buddy. So I'm gonna pop this one out too. It's one of those Stihl thingies. I'll put them like that, so I know that one goes in the front, that goes in the back. I think most of this, a lot of what we buy is made in America now, but still, the Germans are behind it. Ha! Oh, things came loose now. Things really came loose. We just got how to. I'm gonna get that screw out of there before I lose it. But with these kind of screws, because they all look about the same. Yeah, we just gotta pop this up over this little nub right there. It should want to come out then. But it's still not very happy to do so. Can I pop that up a little bit, maybe? Nope. Not easily, that's for sure. But it really looks like it needs to come out of there. And it's definitely rubber. Or could I just turn it? Push it up this way enough to get it over that thing? I don't think so. You don't think I can? So I guess I need to figure out how to get you out of there, dude, without tearing you up. Ah, not so bad. It started to come. Well, it wants to come out of there. Ha! We got it. So now we're loose as a goose, except for the manifold. And there's probably something in here holding this manifold on, so I'm gonna see if this screwdriver will work. If it's not, I'm gonna get a smaller one. I'm just gonna take the hose clamp loose. Okay. And I'm gonna try to push on this thing a little bit. Ah, good, it started coming off now. Should took the spark plug out. Yep, we're getting there now, boys. Yeah, that was a big loosening right there. Good thing about Stihl's rubber is it's pretty tough, so you can pull on it a little bit. What am I still on that plastic thing down here? That thing just don't want to give up, does it? It's so close. Can I turn it down and get it? There we go. Yay! Yay! What else is holding it? Oh, there's a little tube going in down there. This little tube right here is connected on, so we're gonna connect it off. Ah, it connected it, it disconnected itself. There we go. All right. If you're gonna work on Stihls, you need to go get one of these. You don't really need it for this one, but this is the little 8mm tool that's a thin wall socket enough to work on them. And once you get her loose, your fingers will do fine. Okay, we're gonna take a commercial break and wait on the customer. I'll be right back. So anyway, we got our screws off. We're gonna get this thing out. But this throttle linkage right here, I don't know about wrestling that thing loose. So what? This I think has to come off. Yep, it does. And since it was broke back here, I didn't even have to take the little screw out. I can take this loose right here, and that ought to free it to come out, I think. Yep, we're getting there. And she's free. So still got to get this off. Well, the ring's gonna come off kind of easy, looks like. I can just keep it fairly straight. Yeah, it just pulls off like that. Looks like we have a little metal tube here. See if I can just nudge it a little bit with this. Get a screwdriver on the edge of it. That's all rubber. Yep, I got it loose. Get that out. Then it's kind of stuck a little bit. I don't think it really wants to push through this way, so maybe I can make it go down that way. Yep, just push around and she pops right out of there. Okay, so I do believe we're done with this piece. As far as taking it out goes. Yeah, just push it in this hole right up through here. I think I'm getting better at this GoPro stuff. I'm really starting to be aware of where the camera probably is. Getting part of it up through there. See if we can get the rest with fingers only. No tools. I like fingers only on rubber, even if it is good steel rubber. Yep, we're there. Okay, and it looks like there's two little grooves here, right there, that line up with these holes. Yep, and this thing is going to want to go up into that, so that's the way they go. Now we put our little set ring back in here. Just kind of set it in place. It'd probably be better to push with 2 fingers if you can. Yep. She goes right back in place. So we're almost ready to put our carburetor in. And this is I'm pretty convinced this is a Chinese copy now, because the gas tank's kind of opaque instead of solid color. So I'm gonna pop this off. Well, I would pop this off and remove this linkage to install it anyway. But on this one, since it's not broken, you've got a little screw down here. And it wasn't hardly ready to come out yet, was it? Still not ready to come out, but it's loose, and this thing's coming off. So that's just got a little not very well cut plastic hole there that it's so indicative of Chinese manufacturing. You know, I have a friend that went to China to make a deal to buy air conditioning units from a company. And when he came back, he said they make great stuff. They just keep it over there and send us the stuff. Send us the other stuff. I thought, that makes sense. You can tell by what they do. They're certainly capable. So this linkage is out, and I'm going to compare it with this linkage a little bit. See if we think we would be better served by just sticking with the OEM on this. Yeah, the OEM's thicker, it's more substantial, it's going to work better and last longer, so I guess that settles that. Now we got to put this ring down through here, and we should be ready to put this new carburetor in. Hope these fuel lines are worth a tater. She's gonna go in just like this. I'm gonna try to hold this fuel line down while I put it in so it don't get trapped back there in the make sure this tube is going in that hole, which it certainly did. Push her on down there and line her up a little bit. And take my industrial tweezers and pop this fuel line on. I'm gonna try to pop it on there a little better because it's got a little place right here that holds the line. And you definitely want to get this over there, over that, if you can. You gotta be extra careful now because it's not Stihl stuff we're working with, it's Chinese. Okay. Yep, our adjusters are lined up pretty well. I think it might want to, I'm going to try to push this little piece in with a little screwdriver. Yeah. Get enough fit that you can turn it, so push around on that a little bit. Have we trapped our linkage hopelessly? Hopefully not. Nope, we did not. We did good. So we'll go through this hole right here. And put our top back on. Making sure that this linkage goes through this slot right here. And it is going through the slot. There's also a little tab down there, as you see. You got to put it in the groove. And this thing should just sit back in place. Oh yeah, you can tell by the feel of it in here. Stihl did not make this handle. Put our little not so little screw in there. And it's kind of little, but it's kind of long too. Just snug it up. Don't, you know, you're screwing metal into plastic. Be careful. Okay, so this goes on here. That's gonna be fun getting that back on. That really is. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. Where it goes on back on the engine here, the intake manifold. Clean it up before I put it back on. Okay. Then we got to connect a little tube. This little tube coming out of here. So I guess the first thing I need to do, well, maybe this is the first thing I need to do. Remember, I've never done this on a Stihl chainsaw that I can remember. This is an adventure. We can lose our pull cord from the generator. Set this up enough, hopefully I've got room to start that fuel line on there, or that vacuum line probably. That may not be close enough. It is not. Okay. So it looks like I'm gonna have to work this back over that plastic tab down there. I wonder if you could just do something like this. What about that? It just twists right in there, doesn't it? Oh, see, that's too close. So you can put these two things together and hopefully have enough room to work in here before you try to really seal the deal. Okay, the vacuum line's on. Now, we've got to figure out how to get this back on. I think it's going to go on easier than it came off. I may be wrong, but I think it will. I'll just keep this ring back here. Push this together a little bit more and still leave me a little room. Yeah, it's starting to go on. Okay, I am going to get this spark plug stuff out of here. Spark plug too. I can work on this thing. I'm not going to do it like I did it taking it off. A little more room to prise and pry on this thing. You know what? These might be better. Yeah, baby, we're there. Yeehaw! So, let's see if we can move this ring up into place. And if your fingers are not very big, you can do this. I just can't get these clubs down in there. Okay, that was a good move, I do believe. That was a good move. Ha ha, there she goes, right where she needs to be. And I am gonna jam my finger down here and hold this while I screw this thing back down, tighten it up, because I don't want it slipping around the manifold on me, getting away from me. I'm gonna snug it up pretty good till it really starts to feel like it's tightening. I think that feels pretty good. Okay. Now, you gotta remember all this other stuff we did. And what was the first thing we did? Well, the last thing we did, I think it was this. So that's gonna go back in like this, because this goes over it, and this is gonna plug in here, because there's no way in the world it's gonna plug in here. So if you know your kids are actually going to do something like this, now we got to make this thing go in there. You know what? When I put that other thing on it, I might have should have put it. Yeah. When I put the screw in it, it's going to make it go down in there. Clean that up a little bit. I always try to clean a little on stuff as I put it back together. Okay, this is what that fits into. So this part right here, so this is what this fits into. Okay. So it's gonna have to go to where this fits into it. Does that make sense? So this has to go up. Like I say, I think that screw that goes down in there will pull all this in. I think it will. But it seemed like there was something else that went in that thing that screwed down. There may be just a screw. I don't see another part, so maybe it was just a screw that went down in there. I think that's the way it was. It may draw it right on down in that hole. I'm sure it's going in the hole in this thing. That's kind of tight, so it is going in that hole. It's actually pulling it out instead of pushing it in. So I'm going to make it go in down in like that. Okay, now we got something. Make sure we're tight enough there. Threw out some play. Now, that's kind of like the way it was when I took it apart. See this black thing? That black grommet right there was on this thing. It still needs to go down a little bit more, don't it? Okay, we can do that. Now she's on there. And so now this goes in. Remember, with this thing up and the angled, the one that comes out of here at an angle going this way. So you can get your piece in there. And I don't know what that piece is called. Chain guard, something, I don't know. I'm not real sure about what it does. This looks really weird to me. I don't understand how that's going to be okay like that. Almost looks like it, I don't know, it's just a really, really thin piece of metal. I guess it goes under that plate. Kind of holds it a little bit. Okay, so we got this in. I took something out of here. Was there a screw that went down in there? Can I find a screw hole on that somewhere? Yeah, baby. That screw goes right in under that. It's got to be one of these. Grommet screws. Push it down in there and get it started a little bit if you can. If you're using a tool like this, just don't put any pressure on it and let it kind of guide itself in the hole, like it's not wanting to right now because it's shifted on me. Yeah, it wobbled a little bit, but it got in there. Not tight enough, I don't think. I think that grommet ought to touch that thing like it did when I took it out. That feels pretty good. We've got movement right here, but we're still holding tight. I think that's a good deal. So I'm gonna go with it. Clean this up a little bit. Wipe around that a little bit. I don't think this thing can pop in any way you want it to. But I remember these two things were up and down, so I'm gonna put them like that. And it will pop right in there. So we got that much back together. Now, we had this assembly here, which consisted of this and two screws going in through here. So let's do this first. What's it? Shock mount. That's what it has to be. Couldn't be anything else. So let's get Mr. Shock Mount rolling back in here. Mr. Shock Mount's almost there. These screws are going in good and tight, and I'm thankful for that. Oh my goodness. What? No, I did. I'm okay. Thought I really screwed up for a second. I am going to loosen that just a little bit and adjust it. wipe this off a little bit first. Clean it up some anyway. Oiler hole's clean, good and clean. You know, those little things go on there. And I believe this baby was right there. It's just the right size to go right there. And just a short enough head to stay out of the way of that bar. Yeah, I like that. Now, is this going into metal or nope, it's screwing into plastic, but I still believe it's this screw. Maybe going into metal there. Yeah, it's going, it's screwing in like it's going into metal, so that's got that settled. So, you know, basically you just put the screws back where they fit. That's what you do. So, looks like, yep, that thing went right there. I can see the indentation of it. And started. Put her in there. We'll go back to the speed tool now. Okay. We'll get that back together. Let's put our nuts on our carburetor. Make sure there's pretty good and clean. I don't want to use this tool because I want to feel even pressure on this thing. Yeah, it's locking in there now. Yeah, I believe that's a good deal. We're getting close. So let's go ahead and put the handle back on. After we wipe some of the nastiness off of it. This is where that part of the bar of the handle goes. This part of the handle, and then this part of the handle goes right here. So we'll turn it this way, get it over the chain brake lever, pop it back in, pop this in over here. Whoopity-doo. And I believe the long screws go right here and the short screws go in the bottom. Yep, looks like that's going to be a good fit. I'm going to get them all in before I start tightening them because I've got screws in 2 different locations on this saw. 2 on the bottom, 2 on that. I'll make sure they go in okay. That one's going in kind of okay. That one's going in kind of okay. Well, it is not where it's supposed to be, is it? Yeah, it is. It is now. Metal into plastic. Don't want to screw it too tight, but you want to get it good and tight. Yep, we got plenty of room for screws in there. So handle's back on. Okay, I guess it's time to do these wires. Oh no, which one went where? Well, their length will tell you pretty much which way, where they went. Let's put our black one in first because it's the longest. There we go. She popped through. Let's put our green and yellow through there. Get it to pop through, which it did. Something to get it out here where we need it. Okay. And so, if you remember, our green and yellow screw came down into this hole right here, and our black screw went into this hole. And when you turn the saw off, well, let me get these things in here and then we'll go through that. But this is basically the on and off switch. It lets the coil fire, or it causes the coil to quit firing. Oh, that's a little too far. Let's go back. I don't think that might still be, I mean, it's on this bar, it's gonna be fine, but it just wasn't out that far on the other saw, so yeah, it was more like that. Oop, pushed it out again. Oop, pushed it back in again. And our black wire. These industrial tweezers from Harbor Freight are invaluable with stuff like that. For me, you may be able to get right down in there and get it, but that is not my testimony. Let's see. Come on, baby. Come to me. Let me grip it a little farther up and try to get it started. Yeah. It's going in there. It's pushing the little lever it's supposed to touch out. So now let's check and see what's going to happen here, because this is not Stihl stuff. It just ain't. Okay, so when you turn the saw on, you got your guide right here. Off, on, half choke, and choke. Okay? So when you're off, you're up here like this. So this little piece of metal right here is touching this ground wire. Okay? It's also touching your coil wire, so it grounds out your coil. So when you turn the saw on, you pop it up here where it can't do that. And then you pull your throttle in and you go to choke and you start the saw, and that does something. I mean, there's no choke plate in here, but it does something in there that's supposed to start it. I gotta read up on that. And sometimes after it hits the, like you'll pull it till it hits the first time, and then you'll pop it up on half choke like that, and that gives it a little more air with the fuel so it can fire off and really run. Okay, and then when you pull the trigger, it should have went up, not down. It's gone from half choke, yeah, and popped up to on. Okay, see, it popped up that time. It did good. I'm not so sure about this thing, but I'm doing as I was told. Choke, half choke, on, and off. Hope that makes sense. I should pull that out for a short. Okay, where's the spark plug? There it is. Here's my spark plug tool. It's actually just a 3/4 inch socket. I have people that work here, and not all of them were as good as this guy that I've got now that you just saw a few minutes ago. Man, that doesn't even want to do that, does it? We got a problem here, Houston. Goodness, put this thing on it and get it off of that. Get that tool out of there, because this tool's pressing on this. It's making it really hard to get that spark plug in. So I'm gonna try it one more time, see if I can get enough on there that it'll work. Gotta hold it out. Spark plug's tight. Good deal. It does work. Oh, that's nasty. How's it look in there? Well, it's pretty good inside, so I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Oh. So I think we're like oh, and oh, don't clean your air filter with a compressed air. You'll mess up the filter. No, you won't. I had a tree cutting crew for like 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. I clean these filters like this every time we finish the job. We never had a problem. Yeah, that needs to be done. Oh. They were cutting some wood when this happened, evidently. That should just snap back together like so. I guess that's somehow has something to do with when you put it on choke, somehow it sucks that thing up to it. I love to know how this works. If you watch this and you know how this thing works and there's somebody explaining it, send me a link, please. Okay, that just pushes back over that top little thing. This top little thing right here, this pushes over that, and that lines your screws up right where they need to be. If you start it in the holes, take a screwdriver and tighten it down. Don't use a lot of force and push it. Just screw your screws on there. I think I did better that time. There we go. Okay, let's put her bar back on. That's spinning pretty free, so now I'm gonna wipe that off a little bit. That ain't gonna work. Yeah, we're gonna have to take it all the way out. Put our plug wire in here. That's what all that thing is for. Let's see if we can just screw it back in there. Isn't that lovely? What a beautiful thing. It snaps right on. Okay, Stihl. Just tighten this baby back up. this baby back. You gotta pull your thing down to make your little slots slide the way they're supposed to slide, and then you got a little gap right here. That looks like a Stihl to me. I hope this helped you.